queue into control matchups. Okay. Hand is reasonable, slightly overloaded on burn spells already, but that offers a lot of potential. It offers the potential of just killing each of my opponent's creatures if that's a creature-based matchup, and they don't really get to do much. Or it also offers the potential of playing aggressively and then having 10 points of burn in my hand to win any kind of race. More swamp decks. It's just the leak of the swamp decks. Which, I mean, I'm fine with it, but it's very lopsided testing. I guess the meta of the leaks is also a lot more focused on like a variety of tier 2 and tier 3 decks rather than the more blue-red Delver, Tireless Tribe, Boros focused challenge meta. People are playing more tier 1 decks in the challenge than there are in the leagues. So it makes sense that we don't get testing in against the top decks when we just play random league matches and also start off 0-1. Weird experience with Jesness. It is a big, well, not a big non-bow. I mean, obviously, like flying over is sweet with Kraken Shaman, but Zen's Enlistment and Kraken Shaman are just for completely different matchups. I don't know. Yeah, disfigure all my guys that have already drawn a card, sure. I don't think the negative interaction there is nearly as big as you think it is, because I can still choose when to cast the Kraken Shaman, and it's like Kraken Shaman is just there to win some otherwise pretty bad matchups, and Zen's Enlistment is just a general late game finisher that is, yeah, I don't know. Like, I still don't have to blow up my own board, and in the matchups where I want to blow up my own board, then the Kraken Shaman is still going to be game winning even if I lose some tokens. Well, once again flooding out pretty badly here against an opponent who's missing all their land drops. A Quicksand for Tribe. That might be okay. I was already not a fan of the Radiant Fountain, and I think the Tribe matchup is pretty fine as it is, but yeah, definitely Quicksand does destroy Tribe pretty hard. Okay, we finally get to cast the Zen's Enlistment. Watch them draw their third land next turn in Sputulkabog. But yeah, after 3 matches, each of which were matchups where Zen's Enlistment is unbeatable, I finally got to draw and cast it. Feels good, man. So the game is just going to end pretty quickly here. So not a lot of Zen's Enlistment action is going to happen. Well, I guess I should attack first for Echoing Decay. Oh, sideboard. I don't think I have enough sideboard space for a Quicksand. Either I make room for it in my main deck or I'm never playing it. I don't think it's impactful enough to run as a sideboard card, I think. And I mean, it's super impactful for that one matchup, but I think the matchup that it is for is not widespread enough for me to want an otherwise pretty low impact sideboard card, if that makes any sense. Yes, we're nicked, sure. Still, I have no idea how they would think that holding onto the Gas Verdict until end of turn is going to help them at all against my Zen's Enlistment. But sure, they could have just done that in combat and taken 1 less damage. Pretty sketchy decision by opponent. Well, they need a Crypt Rats, or well, no, they can't do anything. They need an Echoing Decay pretty much. Because Crypt Rats and Pestilence, they just die to my boards by damaging themselves. Yes. Sure. Hmm. What else can they do? I think I'm not making the extra 2 because I can't think of anything that keeps them alive except for Tendrils of Corrupt and Echoing Decay, and this way I get to, well, I got punished because they exiled it again. Yo, Bladewing. You have a horrible win rate against Tireless Tribe. That is surprising to me. I have like 100% win rate against Tireless Tribe. I think the reality is that we're like 55-45 ahead, especially against the Darkest Mage Transformational sideboard. But no, I did not hear. It's just a local tournament. Bladewing is my local judge in my hometown. And there was a tournament day, but I didn't go because I preferred to play the online tournament rather than play the paper tournament. But yeah, let me know what happened. I have zero news about what happened in the paper tournament. I think we wanted to keep one of these in and get rid of these. And yeah, this seems alright. Maybe, yeah, sure. Well, Hellotech is a very strong player. That makes sense. But I played against Darkest Mage the last 2 challenges and I beat him both times. Though, I mean, a little bit of that was fortunate, but I feel like the matchup is not that bad. You just DQ a player every tournament. The only reason you don't DQ more players is because there's not more tournaments. What happened this time? Yeah, I think the only card you can really lose to is Giga Draws. But like Character Shaman is insane and Standard Bearer is pretty strong. Serrated Arrows is insane. I don't know. I would definitely want to test against like a strong tribe player. Just do like a 1 or 2 hour session of just playing the matchup. So if Hellotech is up for that, I'm definitely up for that as well. I don't think I can convince Darkest Mage to do any of that, but maybe I can. I would be very much up for that. Just like play 1, 2, 3 hours of that matchup, nothing else, just against the known player that I respect and know that they're good. And then like Hellotech or Darkest Mage can like stream or record the other side of the matchup, and then you have both sides, and it's pretty interesting. Seal of Fire. Yeah, Seal of Fire is also good. Like there's so many permanent based ways of fighting them. The upside of Quicksand over Seal of Fire is that it's just like uncounterable. So, I mean, a 1-mana thing is pretty easy to resolve. I guess, no, this Quicksand also dies to the Giga Draws. So yeah, actually Seal of Fire is probably even better than Quicksand, you're right. Because they can just tap the Quicksand down with Giga Draws. I'm not actually that convinced by the card anymore now that I think of that. Because Darkest Mage was already saying that. Probably should be playing Red Swords, but he was already saying that his plan for the matchup is to Dizzy Spell for Giga Draws and then Giga Draws for 6 or 7. Yeah, but they no longer really run any protection spells. Apostle's Blessing is the protection spell of choice, but they don't really have any in the deck anymore in their current iteration. So I think that's much less of a concern. Seal of Fire is probably the best thing that you can do. Delirium count, yeah, that's not the right format for Delirium. Yeah, I'll probably kill it. It's not a huge concern whether I kill it or not. But yeah, I get the card out of my hand so that I can like bounce land here, for example. Also keep the board clear for a potential Palace Sentinels follow-up, though if they unearth it, I'm pretty sad about it. I mean, the versions used to run like 1 or 2 Apostles' Blessing. At the moment, they play 0. Yeah, they have. Well, mostly it involves Spire Golem and also some various beatdown creatures. Like Spire Golem allows them to play defense, and then you have to either spend your Galvanic Blasts on it, which you don't really want to do because it opens you up for combo, and then it buys them a lot of time as a blocker in the air. They need Giga Draws for the other removal. But yeah, it involves 1 Palace Sentinels, though I think MJ didn't bring Palace Sentinels in against me because he thinks that the long game, like the super long game, still isn't that favored for him, and becoming the Monarch and giving me the possibility of stealing Monarch from him is not a great plan. But yeah, Spire Golem is involved, Stormbound Geist is involved. He's playing with the idea of running Seeker of the Way himself. Sorry. Yeah, there's a lot of discussion going on. Oh, I see. Yeah, that makes sense. PM me who it was, I'm interested, but not necessarily something for Twitch chat. Probably Ancient Den. I should probably just Core Sync. I should have Core Sanctified the Naya spell. I kind of missed that possibility while we were in our discussion. Because I can even destroy it and then bounce my Core Sanctifiers back if I find another target. That's pretty sweet actually. Because I mean, they attack my graveyard still, but they're tapped out of drawing the card. Sure. Wait, is it? Oh. Oh, that that would have not been good. Okay, next thing that we learned. This is why we're testing. This is not a May ability. So if I put it on the stack with Kicker and they sacrifice this in response, then I have to blow up my own land. So if opponent paid attention, they sacrifice this before my Core Sanctifiers comes in, and then I'm down an artifact land. That would have been pretty unfortunate, especially because it makes me lose Metalcraft. Well, now everything's fine, but that would have been a huge blowout. So good thing that we're testing that. Another thing learned here. Yeah, Pirate Spellbomb is awful. I mean, the card itself is fine, but it's awful against the Giga Draws because it still suffers from your lands being tapped and then you can sacrifice it on their turn. So I think Seal of Fire I like much more than Pirate Spellbomb, even though I'm aware that it's an artifact and that you can use it to enable Glintalks and Metalcraft and all that stuff. There's definitely upsides to it being an artifact, but I think against Tribe it's much worse. If that's your plan, then you shouldn't run Pirate Spellbomb, you should have Seal of Fire. It mainly destroys Oubliette to answer I Am Crazy's question. And also, okay, that's not going to work out for them. And also it can blow up Pestilence. Sure, the Pestilence goes away by itself, but sometimes they have like a 4 toughness creature and they're constantly killing your 1 toughness and 2 toughness creatures that are already on the board, and you don't really get out of that so easily. Then blowing up Pestilence is fine. But yeah, mostly it's for Oubliette, which is their O-ring equivalent. It's pretty low impact, but I thought that just having a creature body that I can also just play as a 2/3 was better than having like a Prismatic Strands in my deck that really doesn't do anything, or Serrated Arrows that doesn't really kill anything. It's only there to shrink Gurmag Angler into size. Though my opponent is running Liliana Spectre, so that makes Serrated Arrows a little bit more appealing than they previously were. Okay, so I guess we're off of the burnout plan. Well, we're now on the cast the Palace Sentinels and win the game very easily from being the Monarch plan. That's a plan I like. And even if they Throne of the Black Rose here, I can potentially bounce the Palace Sentinels and replay it. Yeah, but it's not even that much better against Tribe than just having like a Galvanic Blast or it's like not even better than Electricity against Tribe. I mean, okay, it dodges Dispel. It's a little bit better against Tribe than Electricity, but I think it's not a great main deck card because you're kind of missing the point in the matchup that you're trying to address, and it's much worse in all of the other matchups. So it feels like it's too cute and kind of not doing what you want it to do. It just looks very smart, but it's not actually the best way of addressing that matchup. I would be surprised if Pirate Spellbomb actually helps your Tribe matchup much. Now we're at the point where it's too difficult to keep my own hand size low. I guess I just run out Core Sanctifiers without Kicker. And I'm still discarding 2 hand size after the spawn stand, which I do want to play. I just clicked through it. There we go. Sure. Probably discarding the Mount Stand, because this allows... Okay, sure. Maybe they oubliette me now because I cast my Core Sanctifiers and they knew I had one in hand, so they were unwilling to play their enchantment. Yes, thank you for helping me. I was worried I could never get all these cards out of my hand. Now I have a target for my removal spell. And one less card. It's pretty lucky. Great. That was... I should have played this. I was like reading the DQ explanation. Okay. Really draw a land already? I'm drawing a land. There's my Sanctifier target, and now I don't have the Sanctifier anymore, but I guess I would have ended up discarding it to hand size eventually or something. Yeah. I kind of wasted mana last turn by not recasting all of this, but who cares? Really not any way to lose unless my opponent steals the Monarch and then I get to steal it back. It becomes difficult to take my opponent seriously once you're in this kind of position. Also, I will draw a Reaping the Graves at some point. Like, they're not doing anything wrong. They played this pretty nicely, especially holding on to the oubliette in a very disciplined manner instead of playing it into the Core Sanctifiers. But yeah, Monarch is just way too crushing of an advantage. Okay, I do also have a second a second Core Sanctifiers, I think. Don't I? One is here. Yeah. Or did I get... No, nothing exiled. So I can still draw a second one, and then I get to blow up this oubliette, Skyfisher triggers, bounce my my Sanctifiers, recast it, blow up this, Glinthawk triggers, and then like all their oubliettes are gone. That's the main reason you have it in your deck, because you can like chain through those oubliettes and completely wreck your opponent. That's a timely draw. Though I would have still been fine just going for the Thraben Inspector block plus Galvanic Blast line once again. Come on, Reaping the Graves. That would allow me to finish all of this a lot quicker. Okay. Instead, the least impactful card of my deck. Also, Zen's Enlistment would be nice. Once again. Sure. Where's my Reaping the Graves? Where's my enlistment? Come on. Show up. Show up to the party. Yeah, exiling tokens is nice. Also, trying to exile something and they Vines of the Westwood and then you bounce it. All of those are super nice. Well, I mean, it's not yet that threatening on its own, but like, well, I guess I'll just kill both of their creatures and then I take 4, it's fine. I don't want them to cast too many Garys. And somehow drain me out. But yeah, as soon as I find my Sanctifiers, then all these oubliettes are gone and Gary is no longer threatening. Or Reaping the Graves, come on. Why are all my tech cards for this matchup hiding on the bottom of my deck? I mean, the only card that really matters I've already cast. And it is winning the game, it just takes a little bit longer. Let me not deck myself again. Please no. Where are they? 3 game winning cards in my deck. Sanctifier, Zen's Enlistment, Reaping the Graves. They don't want to show up. Well, opponent's also out of gas, it seems. Maybe there's another Tendrils coming up or something, then it's going to take quite a bit longer to actually kill them. Probably I should be starting to run out these Palace Sentinels. It's only really bad against, well, Thorn of the Black Rose. It's a little bit bad, mostly it's bad against Pestilence. Because it allows them to lock me out of the 2 and 3 toughness creatures while keeping these around, or maybe just dealing 4 to the entire board. But yeah, I want to pressure them before I deck out somehow. This is comical. Do I somehow have the Zen's Enlistment in our graveyard and I'm missing it? No. It's just not there. Shrivel. Guess they're double shriveling me? Sure. Sure. No! Now my Reaping the Graves is awful. Though Core Sanctifier still wins, Zen's Enlistment still wins now, especially when the Graveyard Hate card is gone. Come on. And also just like beating them down should still work. But wow. This is taking a lot longer than I was hoping for it to. Very persistent opponent. Well, yeah, they're at the point where their life total is too low to even come back onto the board with Pestilence and Crypt Rats. Corrupt? What? What? Okay, I think I'll Galvanic Blast my guy. Prevents 7 damage from them. Basically, I'm dealing 7 damage to their face with my Galvanic Blast. It seems worth doing. I don't know. You know what I say. There we go. Kicker. Well, now I get to do this nice little series of plays that I was talking about. This is what the Core Sanctifiers is about. I Am Crazy was asking, why is it in the deck? This is why. It's not even that stressful on Modo, because there's not really any way for me to lose, and I'm also pretty far away from timing out. I had a pretty fast pace of play here. But yeah, it's a little bit annoying that my opponent's still not giving up. First world problems. Well, oops, well, whatever. I should have bolted end of turn, of course, but I get to make an attack, and then if they cast anything relevant, I bolt in response. Then it just looks like I'm slow rolling them, even though I was just F6 through my own turn.